Good morning. Good afternoon. Hi. Fantastic. There's already a couple people sitting here. Well, welcome to today. And I think I have live chats on. Let me make sure. Can you guys pop in and say hi on the live chat? I just want to make sure that I am able to see you guys. Otherwise, I have to adjust this. This is important to me. I want to see the lives roll in. Okay, hi. Nice to see. Oh, good. Thank you. Let's see. I've got some thumbs up already. Do you guys are you guys saying anything in the thank you. Yay. Okay, good. Now I know that it's working. Hi. This is Diane. Hi from Texas. Hi, how are you? Oh, Justina, nice to see you again. Oh my gosh, you guys. So nice to be here. You know, it's so interesting because today I want to talk about being in the moment, right? Have you guys heard that statement before? I talked about it a little bit. It has to do with passion. It really has to do with being a creator, being an inventor. If you can't be in the moment, you can't create anything because you know what? Actually, being in the moment creates clarity. So, and you can call back your power by being in the moment. So, hi from Vermont. Nice to see you. Thank you guys for writing in there. Yeah, and really, I love comments and all that, and it helps me know what you guys are here. The people that show up, then I'll know really if you guys have questions or want to hear anything on the subject. So this is good. So when I was a little kid, I realized there was a time where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I was probably like in sixth grade, seventh grade. I had just shifted and I was like, wow, I'm having a really hard time staying in the moment. And since that time for me, I've always been working hard at staying in the moment because what it really is, some people call it being in the moment, being in the state of flow, which is where you can do your most beautiful work, right? You have to really have that being in the moment when you're standing in front of your bench and you're thinking about your kids or someone you have to pick up or a trip that you're going to do the next day. You can't put your best work into your work. So I want to talk today about how can you get there of being in the moment, because if you can't be in the moment, you can't even find your passion. How about that crazy statement, right? It's like all these different steps for being an artist. So, it's like I talk about, you guys, a lot of my history, what I've been collecting is how I really got here as an artist, an inventor. I built products, I built companies, I built jewelry lines. I did a lot in my field. And when I sold everything, I was so exhausted that I was like, okay, there has to be a better way. And I want to refresh. I want to do this again. And it's been like a couple of years for me of going in deep and moving forward and figuring out all of these little important matters that we didn't think were that important, right? All this invisible stuff. We think all we have to do is show up and do good, and but it's like if you don't have passion, you don't have your power. I mean, if you can't be in the moment, you don't have your passion because you're not in your power. And what this does, being in the moment, it gives you power, it gives you clarity, and it gives you the knowingness of even what you want to manifest, right? How can you manifest anything if you really aren't in the moment and don't really know what you want? So it's kind of a little bit about collecting your power. And how do you do that? I've got quite a few steps here to do this. But one thing I want to say is makes whether I talk about this whole channel is about creators, but really it's about being comfortable in your life, right? It's your life, it's your personal, and it's in your own work that we're doing that you just get stronger and more power doing that. So for me, I want to tell you guys to be able to show up here and for me to gather information, to be able to stay in the moment while I'm talking to you. What I have to do is I do a whole bunch of research on this subject the night before, the day before. And then what I do is I have to let it go. And then I just re-look at things for 5 minutes before I show up. Because for me, a big thing about staying in the moment right here when I'm talking to you is really about being fresh. I have to have fresh ideas, fresh information, be excited to show up, have passion to show up, right? So that's some of it. When we show up in front of our benches or in our studio, it's like, believe me, sometimes I've been like, la, 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 not able to focus. But so that really helps to stay here in the moment. And I was just gonna, I know what I want to say. We all love watching movies. So think about one of your favorite movies and one of your favorite actresses. And hi, Nan, how are you? Hi, Marilyn, nice to see you guys. Yeah, pop in and say hi. It's so nice to see you guys. So think about, we all love watching these movies. Now, when we're attracted, this occurred to me in art school, when you are attracted to watching, like you love an artist or you love an actor or an actress, they entertain you, they become superstars. And you know what the only reason is why they become a superstar and step up above and beyond other actors and actresses is they are there in the moment. How about that for a profound statement, right? So for me, I know sitting here talking to you guys, I just have to show up in the moment and really love the words that I'm saying. And you guys will probably be able to benefit from some of my words. Does that make sense? Yeah. So these actors and actresses, all they've learned to do is really let go of everything else, completely focus into their character and who they are. So and become their character. So we are so convinced that this is who they are, the role that they're playing. This is who they are because they're convinced. So I know if I'm sitting here talking to you, reading off my paper right now, bored, not taking it in, not taking in what I'm saying and listening to myself, then I know you guys are going to be bored too because I am bored. So the same with our work as creators, with content, with I'm a jeweler, with paintings, with anything. If you really can be in that moment of time, putting out beautiful, profound work and putting your energy into your work is going to be effective in the world. Hiya! Nice to see you. Oh my gosh. Wow. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for joining me today. So I have a good subject to talk about. It's all like being in the moment. And believe me, this is something that I work on every day for, 40 years. And first time I realized that this was a thing to be in the moment. This is the only way to get to your passion, your manifestations, your clarity. So this program here is specifically for creators because I love all of us artists, right? We need a hand. Artists and visual, all of us, like visionaries. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the name of my YouTube station. Creators, visionaries, artists, jewelers, anyone who creates content, anyone who makes. We are the heartbeat of the world. We have to stay fresh. You sometimes see these artists, like we think of artists back in time. When you hear about, oh, nice to hear about you out way far away. I keep missing the Discord session. Discord, you guys, is going to be tomorrow from 12 to 2. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a good place. I'm always going to keep it. Discord, I'm going to keep on Thursdays from 12 to 2. Whoever can join, I'd love to see you guys. I've gotten on and, I know it's something that's building, so don't worry. I think this is going to be an incredible community, but it's bumpy right now. There's still people trying to figure out how to get onto Discord. Discord is an unfolding, you guys, and it's our community center. So that's what I'm creating here. So I promise I'll be there for tomorrow from 12 to 2 is when I know I'll be there. My studio is hot lately. I'm all hot, but so I try to bump it up a little early. That's a time every single week I'll be there, and you guys can see the dates inside Discord. So okay, so if you brought up unfolding, so unfolding, you guys, inside unfolding, I talk about, it's really an extension of what's going on here. I'm making them so beautiful and connected that I think will really help us all out as artists and creators. Inside unfolding, you're going to see, I'm actually just got finished putting all the materials together. I do an introductory talk about how to get around and how it's going to help you. The work, because this is, let me talk about that when I get a little bit closer to what I'm saying about being in the moment, because I have a lot of work in there in unfolding. I have got some breath work. So I'll start with number one. How do you get in the moment? What are some of the steps that you can do to get in the moment, whether you're in unfolding or not? Because unfolding is a support system for artists, and I give beautiful, beautiful. I'm a Kundalini certified instructor, but I have moved my work towards artists and creators. So they're put together in a beautiful way that I'm so excited about it. And it's brand new. Alaska! Oh my, Barbara. Oh my gosh. How are you, Barbara? Hi, Michelle. Oh my gosh, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I miss you, Barbara. I haven't seen you in a while. Barbara went to Morocco. That was fun. That was really fun to meet you in person. I love when I can connect and meet people in person because we know like attracts like. So, one thing I want to say right off the bat is this is going to, this helps you as an artist, but it also helps you in life and in your personal, being in the moment, all of it. It's like there's no separation between all of this. There's just no separation. So I want to say that I used all of these tools that I'm talking about here in an unfolding to help build my first companies and my lines of jewelry, my work, all of this. But I didn't even know I was using them. Like I just was kind of born with those qualities. And then I realized how I messed up with some of this energy work. And it really brought me down and brought me not to a great place with my company and brought my spirits down and brought, so now have worked my way up for a couple of years. It's okay if you go down, you learn, you get smart. I got really smart. So the first thing I want to say is, guess what? We are all the same. People, inventors, all of us are the same. Isn't that crazy? It's like I have so many people that will say, oh my gosh, I'm not such a good artist, or I can't really see things clearly, or how do I get there? Where everyone has different work, their own profound work, but everyone has the same ability to be as clear as you want to be. Isn't that good news? I used to have people ask me, I don't know if I'm an artist. How come you're so talented? How come I'm not? It's just like using all of your resources and you can get your work anywhere you want it. So that's kind of cool. So, how do you build profound work? So everyone can do it. We're all similar. And guess what? Here was a statement that I loved saying is that we are all fear-based as human beings. Isn't that like, I said that to Adam, who's all muscly and likes to protect my boyfriend, and, he is, I said, hey, we're all based in fear. And he's like, I'm not in fear. Like, we don't like to think of ourselves in fear, but that's how we're built. It's not like even if we're the bravest person in the world, fear comes into us. Like that's how we're built. We were built to protect ourselves way back in time and through time. So with this fear that comes into all of us and any of us, some people just react differently. Do you know why I actually built so much in my life? When I look back now, I'm like, just like, holy moly, Susan, you built so much, because the way I react to fear is I just want to run it over, knock it down and kill it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not that I didn't have fear, but I'm learning now with a lot of this breath work, with a lot of this movement on how to get rid of your fear. We all have to deal with that. When you have to show up at an art fair, or you show up to talk, or you show up to to apply for a job, or you show up, you make a big change in your life, you decide to get a divorce or have children or any of this. It's like, of course it's going to create fear, and fear is the thing that can rip us apart. So when you think about artists back in time, like I think about Van Gogh. I remember when I was studying all these artists, Pollock, well, he actually survived pretty well, but you see all these artists back in time that expired. They did not survive. Were they able to stay in the moment to get their work done? I believe they were, but the moment that they decided to stay in, was not like a very good moment. You know what I mean? So it's like, definitely fear-based. It could bring you down a very fear-based poverty, a very fear-based, like, am I ever going to be able to be an artist? Am I ever going to do good with my work? Other people are better than me? Brings you all into that type of a thought. And I know we hear this over and over again, but I'm going to say it again, because in our group, this is what we're here for, in a group mentality, to know, just by acknowledging things, sometimes things help. So by acknowledging, a lot of these artists, like back in time, they died early because they followed a fear-based thread. And I've done this too with my work. Not a good one where you're not being clear. You're actually following your fear down and you're building on it, which is incredible work. You love. right? In museums, you could see people who are like out of their mind and crazy with the work that they build, you know. And one of the things I want to talk about, I think it's scheduled for the inside of unfolding. It's just how to go to a museum and look at artwork, like how to really, you know, a lot of us are afraid to say anything. I see so many people in museums that are afraid to make a comment, or because we don't know how we feel about it. But it's like the truth about the matter is that everything is good. We don't have to, you know, everything is good as long as you can defend your opinion, stay in the moment, stay with your work, stay with your opinion. You're always going to be strong and powerful when you stay in the moment, right? So the way to stay in the moment, I talked about number one is this breath work. And I want to say that hi, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about you being here from Alaska. You guys have really long days now. How are you doing with your long days, right? You could get a lot of work done. Although you probably want to be out and around. I find in the summer, you know, I'm using the discipline to be in my studio now because I'm really excited about getting back to like what work really turns me on. It's hard for me to do, you know, what work turns me on, what work is making me feel powerful and good. Because I know when my work is greetings from Montreal. You're a new subscribe. Thank you. I can't wait to meet you. So you guys a new subscribe on the channel. Thank you so much. I have some really exciting things coming up. And then I kind of like to do, so I like to do this live that I really talk about deeper subjects about being an artist, being an inventor, being a jeweler. Then I kind of just like to do a live behind the scenes because a lot of times we're by ourselves and, we're by ourselves in our studios and we have friends, but you want to make sure that you run ideas past the right friends. You don't want to run your ideas past the wrong friends because that's going to be one of the factors too for staying in the moment. So staying in the moment is some of this breath work. And if anyone decided to join Unfolding, this starting July 1st, every month I put in new information. I'm doing little short ones now to show up in the morning because the mornings are so important to get your day started right and started center. What kind of videos do I make? So I actually do Montreal. Aw, thank you so much. Yes. So the videos that I do are just for the group of us. I'm a Kundalini yoga instructor. I studied talisman all over the world. So I use a lot of my business sense, my successes and failures from being in business and being an artist and building work. You know, it's like I used to build for Banana Republic and Henry Bendel, and I used to build for museum exhibits. So I just kind of use all of this and bring it in now that, you know, it's like I've had this really full career and I'm just bringing it in. Like, how can I help people? I'm on my way back to building a new body of work, to being fresh. You always have to go back to fresh as an inventor. You always have to go back to fresh. You guys like my ring? It's very effective. Prayer boxes and floral. I'm moving into such a space of floral, but that's going to be more later. So this breath work, and not just like breath work. Like you can, if you can't, you can just take walks and you're going to see, just get this breath work going. But what we like to do in Kundalini is you're actually bringing your breath work through your body, whether it's, deep breath work to get out all the old and the ugly, or whether it's beautiful breath work to make your skin clear and your body in good shape. We don't have to get so old and out of shape as we get older and older. We can stay fresh. Our bodies can stay fresh. If we, all that. So that's my goal. It's like, hey, I have a cute young boyfriend now. I'm trying to really stay in this great place, of inventing, of creating. If you have a purpose in the world and you're not all scattered, if you're focused and you have a purpose in the world, your life will be very valuable to you because you will keep, being able to. Thank you. So nice to meet you. Where are you from? I'm here in where are you guys all from? Oh, this is so true. So grateful for this. Oh, thank you, Diane. I'm so glad. This is so good. So it's like I'm here in Cleveland. I grew up in Chicago, and then I lived on the West Coast for 7, 8 years in Oregon and California. So it's like I say that I have like industrial spiritualism, and I like Cleveland a lot. It's really fun. In my other films that I have on YouTube, it's just like the reality of a day of an artist, the things that try to distract you, the things of getting in, little mantras, and hopefully some wisdom on building work and all that. So I'm trying. So we'll see. So the next thing is movement. So number one is this breath work, and it's this bringing this breath work literally through your body where you can get rid of old thoughts and bring in the clean. And this is from these there's different bandhas on the body. We all hold so much energy right here. So one of the things that's being done in Kundalini yoga is you're pulling this muscle in and bringing up this beautiful energy and back down again through your feet, grounding. As artists, we have the responsibility, and with our jobs, we have our feet in the ground. We have to have our feet in the ground and our head in the clouds, because we're literally picking up ideas. Then we need to bring it through our body to manifest and create, if that makes sense. Like, you guys know, you're all in there. You guys know, right? And sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's easy. You are a great inspiration, Susan. Thank you, Justine. It's so nice to see your positivity reaching everyone. Oh, thank you. I taught for many, many, many years, and I travel, and I love going to different cultures and soaking in cultures. That was my thing after art school, is I just went to all different cultures and I studied talisman. But what I really found in cultures, is throughout the whole world, how many similarities we have. Isn't that crazy? Back before the internet, because I traveled way back before the internet, and I used to think people were so different. We have so many core values. It's like when I did a talk on symbolism through here, and it's like you find we all have, all of us have our own symbolism and our own pieces that make us feel good and give us energy. I went to Montreal years ago. I haven't been in a long time. I love Montreal. And I was there years ago, and I taught a workshop. So sometimes I used to teach all over the world. Now I have a workshop that I'm teaching in India, and I have one in Morocco in October. And I teach here in my studio. So I do have a couple classes. I've got a 5-day in my studio and a 3-day in my studio. And of course, the 3-day is very reasonable. But with my workshops, I teach creativity alongside of the technique. So I bring in an energy worker. We do singing bowls in an evening. You get organic, holistic food. And at the end of it, there is a nice surprise. It's really inspirational to be here, because the group of us, we feed each other. I love being around beautiful groups like that. Okay. Oh, you really like my video. Thank you. Thank you so much. So movement helps. So look, a lot of us here, we're European based, a lot of us here that I see. I'm not from India. It's like, oh my gosh, I learned Kundalini yoga from India. And, the thing about it is that we're built differently. We have different, every country has its own vibration and energy. Canada has its own vibration and energy, even Alaska over there, even though you're part of the US, it's like and each state has its own vibration and energy, although less so now because of the internet. But we all have our own energy and vibration. So the more you can use, you're living where you're living for a reason. That's no accident where you're living. So you want to really build and use what you have around you, because that really helps to get you in the moment too. And nature helps to get you in the moment, which is why these walks are good. For me, it's like I love living in the city, because I just love all the people and the way they dress and how different everybody is, and how you really don't have to give a shit when you are in the city. I lived in a small town for a little bit, and it's like, oh my God, everybody's in each other's business, right? So it's harder to let go of things that you need to let go of. Me, I am from Oh, Bangladesh, but I'm born Canadian. Oh my gosh, you should use your history of Bangladesh. I'm sure you do. That's going to be exciting. So, see, everybody's work is so different because we use our core values of what we have behind us. So, um, so to get to, so this is the bandhas help bring this energy up through here. And you bring, it's the simplest. I have some of the simplest movements that I do every morning that just bring this beautiful energy up to the top and back through. You could spend 5 minutes getting grounded. Now you're in the moment, you're clear. Okay. So so that's one of the ways. Oh, that was like the first one. That's the second one, is movement, breath work. Okay. So showing up, so having profound time, which would be number 3, is making sure when you wake up in the morning, you give yourself this profound time to think about who you are and what you're about. Americans, European based, we need movement before we can get into our mantras or into our meditations. Did you guys notice that? Our minds are not quite there yet. Sometimes in India, in Indonesia, people are so used to waking up in the morning. In Thailand, oh my gosh, when I was in Thailand, there's incense and offerings every morning. I feel like us as European based people, Mexican, European based, like all of us here in this this Western continent, the way that we think would be excellent for us. We have to do a little bit of movement to get out all this old clanky emotional stuff before we can sit and have our mind clear. The breath work works too beautifully. If you follow your breath work, it is almost like movement. You're following your breath work, especially in there. I have this breath of fire that I love to use that literally gets the anger out. So July 1st, you're going to see a beautiful little package in there that is all about getting your anger out, because we have, as European based, we still hold like a lot of this old. And then the way getting this anger out is into your passion, and then it's into being in the moment. Being in the moment is called flow, and some people call it being nothing. Like when you arrive at nothing. You hear Dr. Joe talk about arriving, being nobody, being nobody. And when you're in the moment, you're nobody but yourself. That's it. Your ego's not there. So the profound time. So let me see. Okay, be okay. Okay, so when you're in the moment, so let go, let go, let go is always the first steps that we want to do. So fun, so true, so true. Good, good, good. What time? I go live at 12 o'clock every Wednesday. Oh, who's Dr. Joe? You would like him, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he's on YouTube. He actually studied Kundalini yoga and this whole process, and then he studied neuroscience. So he combines the idea of science and yoga together, but mostly he doesn't use yoga as much now. I love using yoga. My program is put together for us visionaries and inventors, so that's pretty cool. You have inspired me to get back on my bench. Yay! Maker and able. Thank you for England. Oh, wow, England. Holding my breath is feeding my brain. Absolutely. Yay, 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 yay. Oh my gosh, I love how many English people that I have showing up here. So thank you for being here today. I know it's like late at night for you, but yes, this should really inspire you to get to your bench. And you guys, this is the beginning. I'm realizing this is my path. I've taught jewelry my whole life. I've taught, all of this I've studied energy work my whole life. I haven't gotten out in the world and talked that much about it, only because I wasn't ready. Oh my gosh. Now I've seen the power of this combination as creators. If you use that 80% invisible energy of, all of this, like letting go and building yourself and being in the moment and finding your passion and getting your clarity and getting aligned, the rest of it is just 20% of just showing up at your bench, and it magically happens. I promise you. You have to show up and do it, but things happen when you align. Like, what are your goals? What are you aligning to right now before before you spend time in the moment, you can't even manifest that well because your energy's all over. So one of the things that I do, and you may do too, is to call back your energy to be in the moment. And that's the only thing you can do, is to call back your moment, your energy to be in the moment. And that's that breath work, that's that movement, that's that. I tell you what takes energy away, that scatters your energy. So this is number 4, I think, or 5. What scatters your energy is when you get on, we have to be so careful, because when you get on Pinterest, when you get on, um, Dr. Joe, hang on a second, let me think of, now I'm like, my brain is on a different track. I'm so in the moment here. Okay, hang on. So when you're, so to be in the moment, it's like, try not to show up too much on social media. Yes, I get on my Instagram and I do post, and I like to check in with people too. But what happens? You get on Instagram, you get into Pinterest, and you start looking at things, and all of a sudden, every single person starts feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't make this. Oh my gosh, how did this person do so well? Oh my gosh, I'm down here, they're up there. Every single person feels that way. How does that feel? Like, you're not alone. Everyone feels that way. So yes, we do have to put this time in, but afterwards you clear, and then you say some really powerful words to yourself that are absolutely true. It's writing your own affirmations, which is what we're doing in July too. Writing your own, let me write that down, your own affirmations. What helps you? Write your own affirmations. I've been doing that too, because look, the clearer and clearer you get, there's always something. Everybody has to spend every day, even with the successes, all the successes. It's like, then people feel like they have to stay there, when you have success. Oh, who's I just reading about? Oh, I was just reading about this singer. We all know him. Da, 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 da. Oh, you're somebody who I used to know. What is his name? Somebody that I used to know. He's from England. Somebody that I used to know. He came out with that incredible song. He was ready to make millions in his life as an artist, as a creator. Like, people were chasing him down. It was a #1 song. It was so profound. Now you're just someone that I used to know. And if you guys punch that into YouTube, you can see the story. But people approached him because his music just blew everybody away, and he could not, he just had a lot of fear. He didn't want to do it. He wasn't interested. He wasn't interested in putting them out there. Your fear comes up, So how do you get yourself ready to meet what you're manifesting? You have to be prepared when you are working on manifesting and bringing things into your life. Like, what do you want to do? God, thank you. Thank you, Diane. Gotti. Yes, Gotti. Yeah. Is that Gotti? I think it's Gotti. Yes. So do you guys see how we never heard any more music from him again? I still love putting that song on. It's from the 90s, I think. So that's interesting. So that's about, preparing yourself with that 80% of invisible energy. Because then the 20%, he must have loved it. He must have sat there in his studio and created this beautiful, beautiful work. You can be there in your studio and create this beautiful work and manifest, and then it gets out there, but you have to be ready for the rest of it too, So isn't that interesting? And I have a lot of stories about that too. So here's the thing, is that when you start getting into the breath work and the movement, and you decide to start letting go, and that could be just like, God, universe, whoever, like, help me let this go. Ask yourself that at night. Ask yourself that when you wake up in the morning. We have to remember to also ask for things like, hey, help me to create a new body of work. That's what I'm doing now. Like, help me. Like, let's feel it. Let's do it. And then I talked about that in another one. The only way to your new body of work is through your old work. And I'm getting closer and closer, and it's fun, and it's new things are coming in. So I'm really excited. And plus, by the way, you guys, I have a jewelry drop this Friday. So I hope you guys can show up. I've been talking about the jewelry, showing building it. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm putting my jewelry up for sale on my site, Jewels and Nomads. So you guys can get there from inside this profile. And you could also get, if anyone wanted to sign up for Unfolding for this July 1st program. It's going to be a powerful one. Okay, so another one is that, and this is the hardest ever, and I have to remind myself over and over again. When you're getting into, like, especially this breath of fire work, to be in the moment, what happens is sometimes if your mind is jumpy, there's something you have to let go of. And sometimes I can be so in the moment for so long, and then my mind gets jumpy. So then I realize, if your mind is jumpy, you guys, and take this, because this is a big one. If your mind is jumpy, that means you have something to let go of. Is that crazy? You have something to let go of. And what is it? We don't know. We have to, like, do that breath work. That breath of fire just can get out the old stuff, walking, thinking about it. And here's the hardest part of all, is that at night or in the morning, when you're really ready to let go of it, you have to lean into the ugliness. And that is number 6. Lean into the ugliness of an emotion and just try to let it go. How do you lean into it? I hate it. But it usually, you can get it out of you so quick. It's like, I just found I was releasing all this anger, so it's like so for me, what came up, like, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, 3 weeks ago, was all this anger started coming out. So I started doing my breath work, my movement, which is all, when we get into the solar plexus, it's all about this type of breath work, breath of fire. So if you guys are in there and you're finding yourself angry, that's good, but breathe it out and lean into why you're angry, how you got there. Back in the, back when I was first building my companies, if I started feeling an ugly emotion that I didn't want to feel, I think we had a lot of advice around us that was like, just don't pay attention to it. You have to bring your consciousness up higher, right? So that's when you stuff things. So I had a lot of things stuffed for me. So that's like leaning into your emotions, letting them out. Another thing that I like to do, number 7, to help get you in the moment, is when you start feeling that anger, when you start feeling things happening, you pick up and record things, or you write. Get like a dump journal where you can just dump all of these thoughts. And this is the app. This app right here. I'll get in and I'll record. I'll just do a lot of recording and record and dump. So sometimes, like, if you need to dump, sometimes I just get in a quiet space and just yell, with the breath work. Throw eggs. Well, I remember years ago, when I was going to my therapist, she was telling me that I needed to, she's like, to get your anger out, you have to do movement. And that was when I started snowboarding, and I loved it because it was appropriate to yell and be a badass on the slopes. You know what I mean? Like, that's all appropriate when you're snowboarding. So look for an appropriate way to release your anger, right? So let's go of all those old emotions that you don't need. This way you could show up fresh in front of your bench, in your studio, in your life, and in your personal. Not have all that stuff. And oh my gosh, to find your passion, you guys, and get your clarity, right? It's like, there's been a few times, like, I had a couple of people die right together that I was loved so much, and my brain was scattered. I did not have, my brain was scattered. So how do you pick up the pieces and get everything back? That's what Unfolding is about. That's what being an artist is about. Figuring out through life, how do you pick up these pieces and get back in your studio and start enjoying your life again? It really is just about enjoying your life. It's not fun when your brain is scattered. That's not fun. It's fun when you're in the moment, right? Okay, another one is, be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Like, it's not going to happen overnight if you have been away from it for a little bit. It's not going to happen overnight. So just keep showing up and moving through it. Like, we're doing a lot of work in the solar plexus to get anger out, to get centered. This is where your self-esteem is. Are some of these Are some of these movements fun? Not really. You know what I mean? But some of them are fun. Some of them are really fun and easy. Some of them are just holding a position for a long period of time and doing the breath of fire. So I'm excited about when July 1st, the new program in Unfolding is popping up. And this is going to be such a powerful one, you guys. I can't wait. Then I meet with people live in our little group in Unfolding. So if you guys are interested, you guys can join. So use your journal and remove yourself earlier. Just be careful with how much social media that you are looking at. We can only take in so much. It's like, luckily I was an artist in the 90s, because do you guys get overwhelmed when you look at Pinterest or when you look at beautiful Instagram? And now we've got AI coming in with, digitally, films that are digitally done, which is like, wow, they blow you away, So, hold your ground. There's always room for handmade energy. As artists, you guys, with AI coming in, with all this coming in, if you guys are doing your own work, getting aligned, producing your own work, your work will always be valuable. There's no one else on earth that does work like you. So your work will always be valuable. We needed to connect to each other. Look, AI can take us so far with what AI, it might be the most beautiful, but when I used to work at this sofa. I mean, I used to have my pieces at sofa, and every piece, when you make a piece, the way people start looking at pieces, because some pieces are so perfect, and here comes AI that is so perfect. Ooh, there's a thunderstorm out there. I'm starting to get hot from all the humidity here. So, one of the things that these collectors look for is a little a tiny little mistake, bubbles in your glass, just a little tiny mistake. If it's, like my shapes aren't necessarily all perfect because they're all handmade shapes, which makes it a more valuable piece. How about that? So think of it that way. Your work is always going to be valuable. Make sense? And know it. Yeah. So, just keep showing up in your studio. You just keep going the same direction, letting go, taking in, letting go. And for sure, you're going to get there. I promise you. Like, that's one of my advice that I give in business. Some of my advice I give in business is, look, when you finally get your idea and you get your passion, when you work through, and some people, we're all at different levels, but when you get to your passion, if you keep going the same direction, you're going to get there. Get where? That depends on what you have in your manifestations, that has to do with what you have to say. You are helping me to find my origin work. Yes, going back to my old work from 40 years ago. Fantastic. It's exactly right, you guys. There's a little perfectly imperfect is always the way. Thank you. Yes, that really, really is. Perfectly imperfect, So with the world getting more and more perfect, this energy. So you guys, we have to think of ourselves as like Reiki masters. When you're at your bench or you're an artist in your studio, you're a Reiki master. The clearer you can get, the clearer you can build your pieces. Our pieces are filled with energy. And I know that because when I was in my 20s, I traveled all over the world and I collected pieces that people were like, oh my God, this is my best piece ever, that they loved and coveted, and a lot of them, they weren't like, when this piece sells to someone or when this piece sells to someone, people who hold it and love it, it starts holding their energy too. The world is energetic. I'm a silversmith and came from metals after being an artist. So it's like in the metalsmithing world, we're dense. We work with dense materials to get to this idea of understanding that our world really is all about energy in business, in our work, and on all levels. That's the only way you're going to have fun. You know what I mean? And enjoy it. Isn't that great? Yeah. And then, this is a suggestion I have to get into the moment is like, get out of your studio once in a while and off of your computer and into real life. Right? Isn't that a good one? Because, it's like, it's easy, it's like, it's kind of fun. I'm really trying to take advantage of this summer in Cleveland because we have these cold winters, and I used to love them when I was a snowboarder. I haven't really done snowboarding in a while, and I used to travel so much, but I'm trying the discipline of staying put more because I always travel. Like, try the opposite of what is normal to you. Try the opposite. If you're not used to getting out, get out. For me, it's like, oh my gosh, I would start a body of work and go and travel and bring in more information and build. And, so now I'm really trying this discipline of being in my studio, building this channel here, and building my work and building partnerships and building a community, right? That's all really important for us as it's important to be here and not be jumping around, staying in the moment, not jumping around. For me, it's like building another company, another this, right? Yes, to recharge. Yes. So yeah, so if you can't be in the moment, you guys, pick up your journal. Like, that is step number 1. And I've got down number 8. Are we on 9? But that is what it's all about. If you can't be in the moment, there's 2 things you need to do. Well, those things you need to do, but the main things are like dump it into a journal and lean into this emotion that you're feeling because it's something old that you don't need anymore, Right? Are you guys feeling this? Who is able to stay in the moment? Well, you guys able to stay in that moment. So acknowledging those feelings. The only way to shed them is to acknowledge them. And get ready for your powerful work. On the other side of anger is passion, right? On the other side of passion is being in the moment. That's what passion's about. When you have passion, it's easy to be in the moment. So that's what we want to get to is our passion, and then we'll be in the moment. So all of this kind of work is really going to help you. It'll keep you clear, effective, and really help whatever you build. Whether you're building children, whether you're building a business, whether you're building jewelry work, whether you're building painting, whether you're building a program, whether you're building a workshop, whether you're whatever you're building. It's like my dad built he's a CPA. Oh my gosh, he loved what he was building. He loved it. So I'm going to be starting. There's things to do in the morning. I'm putting together little things for a morning program where you could do this breath work and wake up and get into your, and the type of breath work that is, you guys, this is just a very small example, is you close your eyes gently. I do this every morning, even when I'm still laying in bed. Close your eyes gently, and you see a white light over by your right big toe. See a white light, and see it very gently. Just focus on that. And when you can stay in the moment, you can focus on that, and you can see it grow. And then you just very gently pull it up your spine. Pull this white light up your spine to the top of your head. And you're just pulling out old energies, anything dark or old matter that you do not need. And you exhale all the way down through your spine, and you dump it out through your feet. So that's like the type of work that I like to just show. It's a couple things of just a little bit of breath work, getting in front of your studio, being able to be in the moment. How you guys doing on your work? Anyone doing anything really interesting? You guys getting into your studios? Oh, and sometimes that breath work, you can do it either fiercely to get the emotions out, or you can do it beautifully to pull in beautiful work. It's like spirituality is not always beautiful, and yoga and healing is not always beautiful. Sometimes it's the ugliest, right? So, okay, you guys, well, I wanted to tell you that I've been talking a lot about my jewelry drop. I have that coming Friday. I have a beautiful description. So to begin with, if you guys have watched different films that I've done, I talk about how to build a voice, how to build a story, how to build the work, how to get into all of this. And this is kind of the grand finale coming from it. So if you go to my site on Friday morning, it's 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm actually have everything put together and hopefully so beautifully, where I have a model and descriptions, and I have my models. How do you get beautiful photographs describing your jewelry work or your work? How do I use beautiful models? They have to be in the moment. They have to feel the words that I'm using for this jewelry drop. They have to feel the words of beauty and love, and the vibrational chakras, and like a lot of emotions. So you want to find out like what emotions that your work is about. Once you can step back and take a look at it, you think about what has been on your mind. That definitely is a clue to how to name your body of work that you're dropping. And I'll talk more about that later. But you guys are going to see a nice story in there. I did my story. I've got my models that are in the moment, just like an actress or an actor that will, be able to portray the look that I'm looking for. Does that make sense? It's all in emotion. Hey, as artists and builders and visionaries, we're an emotion-based business, more or less. Business, to call it a business. We're an emotion-based work, So the more we understand about our emotions, the more effective our work will be. Does that make sense? So that's all. We just have to, really get into all of our emotions at all times. And guess what? You're going to end up the healthiest person ever. All right, you guys. Another thing I want to say, Discord. If you're inside, if you want to join Unfolding, it's $24.99 a month. And you can just join it. It's in here. I meet with you guys live, but also inside of there's Discord that I'm meeting with. Not meeting. It's like we just get on and work together, and we have to get used to showing up there and build our community. But I'm going to be on there tomorrow from 12 to noon Thursday. So if anyone wants to show up, you must be excited to see the response. You know what? Thank you. Yeah, I know. Right. Great inspiration. Thank you for targeting this. Yes, absolutely. For me, you guys, it's like I am really trying. I really am excited because I love my work. I love this work I put together. I love the physical work and the breath work and the yoga work that I've been doing and the emotional work that I've been doing to get this body of work out. So I'm just not attached to, I'm not attached. I'm really have gotten to the point where I'm not attached to the outcome. Of course, we all love to see our work really sell, but it's, when you put this much emotion into your work and so much like direction, it's going to go to the right people. Like it's already in fate. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do is oh, good. Very, very good. Yeah. Thank you. So yes, that's on Friday, you guys. And then, I'll be here. If you're inside Unfolding, it's a great program. Try it out. My drop. And if anyone wants to check out, I think there's one spot left for India left, possibly, on my workshops. If you want to jump into my profile, I've got some workshops in my studio. One of them is a 3-day in October. One of them is a 5-day in September, and India. All right, you guys. Well, thank you. I am glad. I hope that helped you guys all out. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you guys. I hope to see some people on Discord tomorrow from 12 to 2. All right. Bye, you guys.